The pushback against candidates like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other Democratic socialists has taken many forms. We have got an example of one of the oddest, and that comes from Fox and Friends when they had Virginia Kruta of the Daily Caller on, who went to an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rally, and here is how she described her impressions of it.
They say things, I mean, they talk about things that everybody wants, especially like if you're a parent. They talk about education for your kids, health care for your kids, the things that you want. And, you know, if you're not really paying attention to how they're going to pay for it or, you know, the rest of that, it's easy to fall into that trap and say, my kids deserve this. And, you know, well, maybe the government should be responsible for helping me with that. I was mostly uncomfortable because I was surrounded by a group of people who were talking about how they had gotten involved because they were tired of being angry all the time. And it seems like so much effort to be angry about everything instead of to focus on what you could do to change it.
So that's what they're doing now.
What an incredible ending.
I know, that was, I mean, there was more to it, obviously, and you can look it up. It's available on Media Matters. But so obviously, like, she's not a convert or anything, but all of what she described seemed like a person who is desperately trying. Like, it's like, what, I don't go, you know how you can go into a Scientology center and you can do their test?
Yeah.
I don't, because I'm a little bit worried that they could get me. She seems like she's worried they're gonna get her.
Yeah, she's like, this all sounds so good to me.
Yeah.
What's the catch? Well, you know, the catch is that it's democratic socialism, which is what we desperately want right now. Like,
I think she's worried that people will see that appeal.
Yeah.
And will find it too appealing. She wrote a column about it, and these were her takeaways. I saw how easy it would be as a parent to accept the idea that my children deserve health care and education. I saw how easy it would be as someone who has struggled to make ends meet to accept the idea that a living wage was a human right. Above all, I saw how easy it would be to accept the notion that it was the government's job to make sure that those things were provided. And she closed out her column saying, I left the rally with a photo, in part to remind myself of that time I crashed a rally headlined by a socialist, but also in part to remind myself that there, but for the grace of God, go I.
she's so close.
She's so close. She's a writer for the Daily Caller. If anybody has a mental apparatus, a defense against new ideas set up, it's gonna be a writer for a site like this.
Definitely.
Regular voters, oh, it's gonna get some of them. It's gonna get them good, and I think they know it.
I love this because, and by the way, this is like the theme of all this Ocasio-Cortez coverage, which is that they're, you know, like the Fox News, I think it was a Hannity graphic where here he said, this is what democratic socialists want. It's everything that we want.
It's like standing up for senior citizens, standing up for the LGBT community.
Right, it's not just like this bitter fear and racism that was like brought Trump out into the front. It's what people have actually been asking for. It's workers' rights, it's healthcare, it's making sure that we're safe and healthy and happy and provided for, and that everybody can like pursue what they want, and not this like right-wing hellscape of like every white American works 60 hours a week and gets 3 days of vacation and everyone else is dead.
Yeah.
Like nobody's asking for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and when Alexandria talks about like living a life of economic dignity, of having a dignified life, she comes back to that a lot. Like that is going to get people, because, and all of this talk about the economic anxiety of Trump supporters, which didn't actually drive the votes if you actually look at the numbers or anything like that, but they have been abused financially. I mean, we were just talking about their wages. A lot of them, the older ones, they can see what the life economically of their kids is like. They've had struggles with health insurance and all of that. This is speaking directly to that. And I guess I've only really been to, of the politicians' rallies I've been to over the past few years, they've mostly been Bernie rallies. But when she says, I heard them talking about things like health insurance for kids and stuff, doesn't every politician talk about that? Not effectively, and they don't really mean it in the same way, but don't they all talk about that stuff?
Even Trump said something to the effect of like, you know, we'll make sure everybody is covered. I mean, that was a lie, but he still said it because that's what people want.
Yeah, it is gonna be really interesting to see this as it goes forward, and as like, so she's the standout. There are others as well, but she's the big standout. But they're gonna be more as time goes on, and they're gonna be running for like statewide seats and federal seats and all of that.
This is the one ray of hope.
This is the one ray of hope. If this doesn't work,
oh yeah, we're all screwed.
I mean, we got Camacho, and that's about it. Maybe at that point, that's our only hope at that point. Thank you so much for watching that video. Before you move on to the next, I just wanted to let you know I have a documentary series out. It's called True North, available on Go90, and now you can help get it nominated for a Streamy as a documentary series. The link is down below. Thank you so much.